Welcome to my first video back in a while. Today, I'm bringing you UFC 313, my picks and predictions for this card to help with whatever you want, just to give you my take. So first off, we in the early prelims, we're kicking off with Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. Now, Castaneda was supposed to fight this week, but his opponent missed weight, so he got rebooked for Gutierrez, who his opponent got rebooked to go fight Rob Font 2 weeks ago. So I have not picked this one yet, but I'm going Gutierrez. Um, I just think he's the better fighter overall. He's just more well-rounded. He is better, just at everything, to be honest. And it seems most people agree with me too. I'm going by him with decision. I don't. Castaneda lost to Daniel Marcos his last fight by decision. None of these guys get finished a whole lot, so I think it's safe to pick Gutierrez by decision. Next up, we have Ozzy Diaz versus Jordan Santos. Ozzy Diaz just got knocked out by a short elbow by Zhang Mingyang his last fight back in November. And Jordan Santos is coming off the Contender Series where he had a decision win over a Japanese dude. I don't remember his name. Let me check. Or never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong person. But um, Jordan's a younger guy. He's gonna be at a height disadvantage and reach advantage, but I just think he's got better. He's got better all around striking, and grappling as well. It goes, and he's also the slight favorite, which doesn't hurt either. And I think this is gonna be a rather boring fight, but I do think it is pretty safe to go with Jordan Santos for this one. Next up, we have a really good fight, in my opinion. It's Myron Santos versus Francis Marshall. Myron Santos is coming off a crazy knockout against Con Offley for the tough 33. It's either 32 or 33. Um, Crazy knockout. And Francis Marshall is coming off a decision victory over Dennis Bazukia. Francis has struggled in the UFC so far, so I wouldn't really feel comfortable picking him, but I don't think Myron Santos's cardio is that great. So I could see Marshall getting a late TKO, like in the last couple minutes, where he's snatching a victory in the jaws of defeat. But I just don't. I just think Santos is just so good compared to Francis Marshall. I just don't think it's gonna be close. I don't think Marshall's gonna get knocked out, even though he has been finished once by Isaac Bulgarian. But there's nothing really too much about this fight. I could see it winning fight of the night. It's a good fight overall. Next up, we got a really interesting fight. We got Alex Morano versus Carlos Leal. Morano's coming off, I think, a decision loss against Daniel Rodriguez, and Leal's coming off a robbery against Rinat Fakhretdinov, where he literally 16 out of the 16 judges scored it for Leal. I mean, sorry, not judges, but media members, but they gave it to Fakhretdinov, and everybody's like, "Whoa, it's crazy." I could see Morano just like fluking a win, just like he has a tendency to do that, just come out of nowhere and just mess up your whole parlay or whatever. But I just think Leao is too good. I could see. I think he's gonna get a TKO. It's hard to knock out Morano, but I think Leao is gonna more like a standing TKO in my opinion. He's got crisp striking, and Morano kind of fights like a drunk uncle. So I mean, he's not gonna. Leao is just gonna be able to piece him up. And grappling, we didn't really get to see too much of Leao's grappling, but he did look solid against Renat when they did grapple. Next up, we got Bruno Ferreira versus Armin Petrosian. Both of these guys are coming off losses at UFC 308. Ferreira looked decent against Abus Magomedov, but he got submitted. He knocked him down in the second round, but he got submitted in the third round. It's a pretty good fight. It was competitive, so it's not like he was, doing terrible or anything. He's just like this powerhouse at 185. That's literally the Hulk. Armin Petrosian, though, is coming off a loss. He got highlighted on double spinning back fist. I just don't think Petrosian is that good. I think he was a layup for Sharon Magomedov, and that's what he's known for. Whereas Ferreira, he's got some plot armor, we'll say. Um, knocked out Gregory Rodriguez, but he did get knocked out by Nurston Ruziboyev. But there's no shame in losing to him because he's just so dang good. But yeah, I think this is a pretty safe pick. But I'm not so confident where I'm like bet the house on Ferreira. I could see Petrosian just winning the decision, but I do think it's unlikely. I think Ferreira is going to catch him with something big, and just it's gonna go all over YouTube, just crazy. Next up, we got one of my favorite fighters, Joshua Van, is fighting Ray Saruya. Um, I do believe Van will win this by decision. I think his boxing is one of the best in the flyweight division. But what worries me about this fight is Ray Saruya is a great grappler. Him versus Carlos Hernandez. It was a very entertaining grappling match back at UFC 303. But when all said and done, I just think Joshua Van is just on another level. But Van looked great against Cody Durden with the defensive grappling. So that's why I would pick Joshua Van over Ray Saruya. Ray Saruya is 10-0. He's 22. Both of these guys are really young. But Van, for one of the first times, he's not going to be looking like a complete midget. But he is at a reach advantage. But that's not going to matter when he's boxing because he's close range. We move on to the feature prelim. Now this fight was originally scheduled for February 22nd at UFC Seattle, but it got moved back, which is understandable because this card needed some um just needed some fights. It needed star power, and Curtis Blades is coming off TKO loss against Tom Aspinall for the interim belt. Nobody's faulting Blades for losing to Aspinall because he's arguably the best heavyweight on the planet. Um, but Rizvan Kuniev, he's coming off, I think it was a TKO back in the first week of the Contender Series. And I don't know. I think this is going to be one where we're going to see somebody go out. I think it's going to be the first one to really connect. Um, yeah, Kuniev has some power. He's got some good feints. He didn't really show much of his grappling, but I'm cheering for Blaze. I think most people are. But yeah, it would be interesting. Blades is going to have a reach advantage. Height's the same, but yeah, this is really kind of a coin flip. It's going to be whoever lands first, in my opinion. Blades a little chinny sometimes. This was worries me. He got put out by Derek Lewis, Sergey Pavlovich, and Tom Aspinall. But that's the heavyweight division. I think Blades is going to be able to just dominate. That's what I'm hoping for. But I'm not so confident. This is probably my second least confident pick on the card. But next up, we're moving to the main card. We got an absolute banger. Bobby Green, I refuse to call a man king. That's what Patty said. And Mauricio Rufy. Now Rufy's coming off against a decent performance through the great performance first two rounds against Yamaz Top back at 309, but he lost the third round. To be fair though, Top has the chin of a champ, so it's understandable why he couldn't knock him out. He got a little tired. Hopefully he fixed his cardio up. And then King Green's coming off, the submission loss where he got slapped. This is a banger, in my opinion. I'm leaning Rufy. He's a younger guy. He's got crap ton of power. And Bobby is a little chinny now. He got destroyed by Jalen Turner. He didn't really get he beat Grant Dawson. He beat Tony, but Tony's not a real good win now. I mean, Tony's fighting Dylan Dennis. Like, come on. Did beat Jim Miller. I love Jim Miller, but he's come on. He's 42 years old and you couldn't finish him. Come on now. I think it's safe to go with Rufy, but I would not be surprised if we could see King Green get a. It depends. It depends if he gets. This is the problem with picking fights. It's all theoretical. Anything could go wrong. I could see King Green pulling off a decision, maybe working the grappling. Who knows? But I think Rufy's gonna catch him with something big. Next up, we move on to this absolute snooze fest. No, I'm just messing. But what the? Oh, I just lagged out. Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo. I'm not gonna go over this one too much. Nobody really cares. It's kind of a coin flip. Women's MMA, kind of a coin flip. I'm kind of cheering for Lucindo. She's a younger fighter. She's really young actually. She's 23. But I mean, nobody's really excited for this fight. But I think it's safe. It's a coin flip. There's no point in predicting it, so I just go with the younger fighter. Moving on to the feature bout, we got Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. This is an absolute banger at 155 again. 155 just has so many bangers. But I think this is going to be a good one. Bahamondes is coming off that TKO win at the Sphere against Manuel Torres. Jalen Turner's coming off that loss where he should have beat Renato Moicano at UFC 300. I would have gotten my pick right if you go back to my last video, which was the UFC 300 prediction. I predicted him to win by first round. I think it was first round or second round knockout, and he almost did if he would have followed up, but he didn't. I think Jalen Turner is really powerful, and these are both long and lengthy guys for 155. Turner's 6'3". I think Bahamondes is 6'1". He's 6'3". My bad. They're the same height. Turner always has the reach advantage, except for this fight where they're the same. Expect this to be fight of the night. I think Turner's going to be able to get it done. I don't think he's going to knock out Bahamondes. I think Bahamondes is a tough dude. Has he ever been knocked out? Yeah. Bahamondes has never been knocked out. So I think it's pretty safe to go by decision for Turner here. I could see Turner working his grappling, but we'll see. Next up, I still haven't made a prediction for this card. I'm going to go Gaethje by decision again. That's what I'm cheering for. I love Justin Gaethje. He's one of my favorite fighters. Um, Bit disappointing that we're not going to get to see him versus Dan Hooker, but it is what it is. Um, but yeah, there's worse fights to be mad about. This is a good fight. I think this is going to be fight of the night more than likely. Man, what is that picture of Gaethje they got? They make him with the beard and the chin strap. That's funny. But um, I just think Gaethje, he's coming off full camp. Fiziev is coming off ring rust. He hasn't fought since September 23, ever since losing to Gamrot by a leg injury. I don't know if he'll be fully recovered. There's going to be a little bit of ring rust. Gaethje always got the reach. Height advantage, not the reach advantage. But I think Gaethje's going to be too much for him. I could see a late TKO from Gaethje, but I think it's unlikely. I think Fiziev comes out strong in the first round, drops Gaethje, but then I think Gaethje recovers and wins 2 and 3. Moving on to the main event, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. I've picked Magomed Ankalaev by decision. I love Alex. He's probably top 3 favorite fighters right now for me currently. Just so fun, so active. But his grappling, he hasn't shown us anything since the Jan Blachowicz fight. Well, he did show a little bit in the Yuri fight, but I'm sure he's been working hard with Glover. I've seen him train with a bunch of grapplers, but when you've been grappling your whole life, there seems to be such just a skill disparity and dominance. So I think it could go either way for me, but I'm leaning on Ankalaev. I don't think he's going to stand and strike with him. I don't think he's that stupid. I think he'll grapple pretty early on, set the tone, and I do think it'll be a 49-46. I think Alex will take the 5th round, have him hurt bad, kind of like Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira, where he has him hurt. Just except Alex isn't going to be dirty. But yeah, what are most people saying about this fight? Most people are picking Pereira. I just, I'm cheering for Pereira. I really am. He hasn't really shown us anything to know he's a grappler. If it stands on the feet, Alex is knocking his head back to dog stand. That's for sure. But that's gonna be it for my picks, guys. I hope you have a good week. I hope you enjoy this card. I think I will. I guess it all depends though. Make sure you turn in to next week for my predictions of UFC Vegas. I think it's 104. Delize versus Vittori. There's some. It's gonna be a good card. That one too. I'm trying to make this a regular thing where I predict fights and maybe what's the word I'm looking for? Do reactions to it. But we'll find out. Make sure to post my record, um, my community tab if anybody's listening. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. Make sure you subscribe to Jelly Jam MMA. I've rebranded myself. Yeah, let's go. Let's see you next week, Monday. Same time, 5 o'clock. Roman Dolidze versus Marvin Vettori. My prediction is going to be out. Same time. Goodbye.